Hi everybody, welcome to our section 2.4 video lecture. So this time we're going to be solving equations using division and multiplication. So we have a new tool for our equation solving. It's called the multiplication property of equality. And if you were to look at this in a textbook, it would say something like this. If A equals B, then A times C equals B times C. So what you're going to notice is we start with a starting equation, A equals B, and then what they do is they multiply both sides by C, and it stayed equal. So in other words, we can take an equation and multiply both sides by the same thing, and it stays equal. So you can multiply both sides of an equation by the same thing. And similar to our addition property of equality, which also meant that you could subtract, our multiplication property of equality means that you could actually multiply or divide, because division is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal, which I know is a very fancy math word. But dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by a half. Or dividing by 3 is the same thing as multiplying by a third, that kind of thing. So you can actually multiply or divide both sides of your equation by the same thing, and it stays equal, and life is good. So we're going to do some examples of this. So my first one I have is 99 equals 11m. So this time I'm trying to get m by itself, and we have this 11 here. I don't see an operation between, which means that they're multiplied together. So to undo multiplication, we would do division. That would be the opposite operation. And so if I'm going to divide by 11 on the right side, I should also divide by 11 on the left side. So on the left side, 99 divided by 11 is 9. On the right side, 11 divided by 11 is 1. So now we have 1m, which is just m, on the right side. And if it bothers you to have it this way, you're welcome to turn it around. This would also mean that m equals 9 if you like to turn it around. To check, you can also substitute this back in just to make sure that we did it okay. So our equation has 99 equals 11 times m, and we think that m is 9. So we can substitute that in. And let's double check that that actually worked. Is 11 times 9 equal to 99? Yes, it is. We did a great job. In part B, I have negative 13w equals 0. So I'm trying to get w by itself. And we have this negative 13 that's multiplied by the w. The opposite of multiplication is still division, so I'm going to divide by negative 13 on both sides. Negative 13 divided by negative 13 is 1, so now I have 1w. 0 divided by negative 13 is 0. It's not undefined, we're not dividing by 0. So 0 divided by negative 13 is 0. That is an answer. 0 is a wonderful number, I promise. If you want to check this to make sure you did it okay, I know sometimes zeros make people uneasy. Let's plug it back in. So now I have negative 13 times w, which is 0. And we're going to see, does that actually equal 0? Well, is negative 13 times 0 equal to 0? Yes, it is. We did a great job. Let's do some more. So in part C, you've got negative 132 equals negative 11z. So I'm trying to get rid of the negative 11. It's multiplied by the z. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 11. Negative 132 divided by negative 11 is positive 12. On the right side, negative 11 divided by negative 11 is 1. We'd have 1z. So now I've got 12 equals z, or if it makes you feel better, that means that z equals 12. Okay. In part D, we have negative 23p equals 23. So I'm trying to get rid of this negative 23 that's next to the p. It's multiplied, so I'm going to divide again. So I'm going to divide by negative 23 on both sides. Negative 23 divided by negative 23 is 1, so I'd have 1p. On the right side, 23 divided by negative 23 is negative 1, so I have p equals negative 1. Let's see, in part E, I've got 3w minus 12w equals negative 27. In this one, I notice I have w's in a couple of places, so I should probably get those together first. They're on the same side of my equation, so I can combine like terms. 3w minus 12w is negative 9w. So I've got negative 9w equals negative 27 after that simplifying step. Then I want to get w by itself, so it's multiplied by negative 9, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 9. So then I get w equals 3 as an answer. Alright, in part F, I'm going to let you guys try one to see how it goes. You have 7x minus 4x equals 4 minus 19. So go ahead and pause your video, and I will give you the answer in 3, 2, 1. You should get x equals negative 5 for that one. So once you simplify, you should have 3x on the left side and negative 15 on the right side, and then you should be dividing by 3 on both sides to get x equals negative 5 as an answer. Alright, part G looks all kinds of fun, doesn't it? But we have a lot of simplifying that we can do. So I've got 5 times negative 3y plus 4 times 4y plus 3y equals 71 plus 83. So on this left side, I have some multiplication and some addition that I can do. Order of operations tells me I should do my multiplication first. So I'm going to do 5 times negative 3y, which would be negative 15y. I'm going to do 4 times 4y, which would be plus 16y. And then I'm going to bring down my plus 3y over here. And they're all like terms. They all have y's to them. So I've got negative 15y plus 16y, which would be positive 1y. And then I'll have 1y plus 3y, which would be 4y on that side. On my right side, I just have like terms. I've got a 71 plus 83, and I can add those together. 71 plus 83 is 154. Okay, and you guys are welcome to use a basic calculator on these if it makes your life easier, okay? Just a basic 4-function calculator. So at this step, I've got 4y equals 154, and I should be dividing both sides by 4. I hope. So then I'll have a y on this side, and on the right side I should be doing 154 divided by 4, and I feel like I did something wrong, but I got 38.5, which we haven't gotten to yet. So I think I might have made a typo somewhere in here, but that's the right answer for this equation. But in my math lab, you're never going to get decimals or fractions quite yet. So, kind of is what it is. Alright, last one here in part H is another one that needs some simplifying. I've got some absolute values. I've got the absolute value of 52 minus 14 plus the absolute value of negative 15 minus 23 equals 4a minus 2a. So I've got a lot of simplifying that I can do first. With my order of operations, I should be doing parentheses first. And remember that absolute values are on the same side, same level as parentheses. So I need to do 52 minus 14, which would be 38. And the absolute value of 38 is 38. Plus, over here I'll have the absolute value of negative 15 minus 23, which would be negative 38. and the absolute value of negative 38 is positive 38. So then 38 plus 38 would be 76. So there's the left side all the way simplified. On the right side, I've got 4a minus 2a. Those are like terms. I can do 4a minus 2a, which would be 2a. Now, I want to get the a by itself, so let's get rid of the 2. So divide both sides by 2 to solve for a, and you're going to have 38 equals a, or if it makes your brain feel a little happier, you're welcome to rearrange that as a equals 38. And that's it. So hopefully this gives you guys a good selection of examples to go off of, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful week.